What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at AFL SuperCoach, taking a look at the round that was, some of the carnage, the disastrous trades I made, and what Best 22 had in store for my team. Let's jump on over into the homepage, but before I do, I'm going to ask you to smash the subscribe button. If you're new here, we're putting out SuperCoach content, AFL fantasy content. It's just a bit of fun, a bit of a talk through, and hopefully you get some value out of it. Let's jump on into the AFL home screen for SuperCoach. So as you can see here, scored 22.01 for last round, which was top 26% or whatever. Currently ranked 27,994, which unfortunately I did push out 3,000 ranks. Look, I made some terrible decisions this week, but we'll get into it. Current team value is 11,500,000, so probably not where we want it to be. I do have some of the cash generators, maybe don't have all of them, but there's some key people that I just didn't get on, and I dug my heels in, and it's just done me dirty. Let's jump in, have a look at the team as it is. Haven't made any changes just yet, so you're seeing raw information here. So as you can see, had Steele, Dacos, Whitfield. Steele with that big 124, had him as a VC option, but I had no way, because I had the E on Zach Reed, to bring that score into my into my scoring, which is a disaster, and was very disappointing. But so I had to roll the dice, and as you can see, I put it on Jack Steele there. But very happy with Steele and how he's playing. I know Norwood, where they did play, it's not really a game that suits that Kanga ball, the chipping it around, lots of short marks. It's quite a small ground. So for Steele to score 124 there, pretty happy with it. Dacos, I mean, if you had told me that Dacos would score a 102 with a Finn matchup, that was the one we were all worried about. So for him to get a 102, actually not mad about it. Very disappointed still with I think it was the Saints game, wasn't it? Where he just didn't score well and cost us as coaches that cash gen. And as you can see there, 566,000. People are going to be picking him up real cheap. We've got Whitfield, who's coming off the bye. He scored that 87. I think he saved himself. He had a blurred vision or something. So for him to be able to get to 87, pretty decent there. I think Whitfield can probably be a top 6 pick. I'd say at the moment it's probably in this order. Maybe Dacos down in D'Ambrosio's space, and a Luke Ryan in there. Obviously Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera as well. But yeah, no, definitely very happy with what Whitfield put up with an 87, and hopefully he can get back to those tons. What's his... So he's got the Saints coming up, projected score 99. What's he done against them in the past? Can you see that? Yeah, 103, 65, 120. Yeah, okay. Well, let's hope that he can put up some good scores and keep that cash down going in the right direction. It's been a great pick so far. Massimo D'Ambrosio. So I think this week I brought in... Who did I bring in? Team editing, is it? Or how do I view my trades? Is there a way to view that? History, maybe. History. Trade history. Here we go. Yeah, so round 4, I sent Lazaro and Wines out. I brought in Took Miller and Sam Darcy, who was obviously very impressive. So let's go back into our field here. Yeah, so because I traded out Wines in here, I didn't make any moves in my midfield because I brought in D'Ambrosio. The thing that I did want to do this week, though, and that I was tossing up between, was bringing in an Elliot Yeo. And the reason I wanted to do that was to push Howes off of my field, and with a 46, you can see why. D'Ambrosio obviously still going up in cash, but not really putting up the scores that I thought he would, and I think he's only averaged like a 67 since I brought him in. So I kind of missed out on that, but I think he's someone who I'm going to hold for the next couple of weeks as we go through these final buys, and we look to upgrade. I think that there's potential there, so I'm not too worried about it. But just need him to consistently score and beat his break-even, which at the moment, break-even of 49. So very much can get that. I think he should be fine. Yeah, look, if we keep going down, projected-wise, if he gets a 59, he should still make cash. I mean, not that much, but he should still make cash. And hopefully he's outscoring those, I guess, scores that he potentially can put up there rather than just meeting them. We had Zach Williams and 81. Look, I mean, Zachy Williams is doing fine. I think he was a cheap pick that we expected to make cash. He probably doesn't have that same scoring that we thought he would from that halfback role, but the bloke's missed 2 years of footy, so to be putting up 81s, it's not the end of the world. Who's he got coming up from a matchup standpoint? So they just played, Freo? Yeah, just played Freo. And so he goes into an Adelaide, GWS, Geelong, Collingwood. I don't think Collingwood's too hard. GWS, I don't know. I mean, there should be some scoring there. High score of 123. What? Surely not. He's got a projected of 81. So he's still going to make some cash. I think if he can continue around that 80 mark, then putting up 34k at a time, that's pretty decent. From a break-even standpoint, what's his break-even at? Round 5, it's at 7, 15, and then 55. If he can have a nice score in there, then that'll probably reset it a little bit, and he can bring it back down. So not too worried about Zach Williams. I think he's doing a role. But as I said, I would have loved to have got Yo in. What I did was I missed out on making trades on Thursday night because of work, and I missed, and then I was rushed, so didn't get to do the moves that I would have liked to have made, which you can see over in my fantasy video. I did bring in that Yo, and he rewarded us with a great score. And he rewarded us with... I would have brought in Yo, and that rewarded us with a good score. So that would have pushed Howes to the bench there. Arguably would have been a better pick. But that's all right. Reed and Phillips obviously still on the bench there. I've got no cash gen coming through, which is probably hurting my value a little bit, but hopefully we can make up for it in the other lines where there are actual options. We had Bont in this game. I was a little concerned with Bont, and I took the C off of him because I was concerned about that ankle and just Bevo in general. So having him there at a 141 was great. Zachy Butters did well, I guess, in the SuperCoach format. In the fantasy one, maybe not so much, but good to have him. I think he's going to be a good pick. Just keeps making cash, and that's what we need him for. Putting up 119. The only problem with this is that, I'm 40 points behind a Sarong. I'm 40 points behind a Green. What did they score this weekend? Because I know that they didn't have the best games. Tom Green. Against Gold Coast, he scored... What did he score? 109. So I got points on him there, but as you can see, 137, 152, 132, it just hurts when you're that far behind. Wonder what a Sarong did. This weekend I didn't get to watch a lot of the footy, just sporadically, but it's okay. Sarong went with a 94, so made points up on him there, but you can see those big monster scores. We need one of those from Zachy Butters just to make this pick really worthwhile. But I think Value Guy is doing kind of what we expected, pushing his scoring up, so that's quite good there. I did throw the C on Jack Steele. I had a look at Jack Steele. Well, I had a look at Tom Powell, and he had 55, which we'll talk to. He had 15 tackles, which I just thought, if he can get 15 tackles, what the hell is a Jack Steele going to be able to do? So what do we got here? Against Richmond in that round 4 there, he had 10 tackles. So still put up a really good score, 142, did it across all lines, 12 kicks, 21 handballs, that 5 marks and 10 tackles. So I think, great to see him performing there, putting up some good scoring. I think he's someone that if you didn't start with, you've kind of missed the boat on, but doing amazing things and should be able to maintain one of those top 8 positions, which is what we want. Then move on into Took Miller. So Took Miller was one of my trade-ins for this week. An 89 on debut. Not fantastic. He has an average of 114, and I've cursed him by bringing him in, which is awesome. But he does have, I guess, a history of scoring. Hawthorn coming up, 153, 109, 98. Hopefully it's not like the 98 and probably more like the 153. We can get some good scoring out of him, especially with the depleted Hawks side. Then we go into Sydney. He's scored well against them. And then he's got the West Coast game. So 2 prospects of a 153 in there. That'd be delightful if we can get that from him. But I think West Coast are looking better this week than they did. Against the Giants, he had that 89. Lots to share around there. Interesting game from a, I guess, move standpoint. Obviously, Dimmer shifting the magnets a little, throwing Flanders down back into that halfback role, which he looked good in. But hopefully Took can be that value guy. This was someone that I did consider getting a Tom Green with. But I'm really just trying to focus on that value game and make sure that everything's going up. Not paying for top price guys. I've done that with Dacos and I'm not real happy with it. But I think if I can do it across the other lines and just keep a lot of value front of mind, then that'll be quite good. Then we got Nick Martin, that 133 coming off the back of the 136 at Marvel against the Saints. I thought that potentially the Port Adelaide game might be a bit of a hard one, but did really, really well. From an Essendon standpoint, bloody hell, it was hard to watch this game. We were just getting annihilated. Played phenomenal for the first quarter and then disaster. But a 133, you've got to be very happy with him, adding on 35k. If he can do something similar, a projected score of 110 there against the Bulldogs, he's just going to keep making cash. And what I'm really excited about is that round 6, just get him into the back line. So I'll be able to move him down back. I'll probably be able to kick a Williams, a D'Ambrosio, a Howes well off of the field into that bench spot. And I can get a Roberts down back as well. So freeing up some of that midfield space, but getting a top 6 defender. So I think 133 is obviously doing quite well there in that role. We then moved on to Roberts and our rookies here, Roberts, McKercher and Sanders. Roberts just continuing to do good things. I mean, he's been scoring well from a rookie standpoint, putting up huge numbers. What's that? He's got 69k, 60k, 49k, projected to make another 32 next week. Just pushing that value up. If he keeps going, kind of getting up towards that 400k mark. Amazing from a rookie and definitely someone that we've had on field, but also giving us some cash gen. So if you haven't got him, it hurts a little, but I think a very good option. We then had McKercher. Look, McKercher's one of those watches because I think, in that halfback role has the potential to score, but is having to share it a lot. And probably isn't getting enough of that ball for the quality user that he is. And that might be because of, a Zach Fisher down back, but I think a Sheasel is taking a lot of that away. So I think McKercher's an interesting watch. He's someone that we could look to move on potentially. He is another defender that could get that, midfielder that could get that defender status with DPP. So all the options are starting to show up in that that defense line, and we should be able to shore up that line pretty quickly with some quality players. But probably not exactly where you want him to be with a 54. We need him making a bit more cash, kind of pushing up to that 350 mark as quickly as possible. He does have Geelong, so that might be a bit of a harder matchup from a halfback standpoint. But if he's playing that like mid-forward role, then he's got to go because that's not favourable. Then we got Riley Sanders wearing the high socks. Another one that look, he's looks serviceable. I mean, he's putting up 80s. I think that's what we can ask from our rookies. But another one that's just pushing that cash gen along, and hopefully we can get some more growth out of him. So he's sitting at 51k, 56.3k, and then you've got 28.8k projected against Essendon. So let's just see what happens. The Bulldogs do like to share the ball around a lot, with Bont and Libba in there. It'd be interesting to see how long we hold on to Sanders, and whether or not we keep him for a while, because we do have some other options. Someone I traded out Lazaro, and he was down in my forward line. I needed to be able to do that, but to get Darcy onto the field, which is something that I wanted to do, I needed to move Reed and Fife out of my forward line, and that just burned me with points. So as you can see here, I've got a 102, a 91, and a 126 sitting on the bench, which is just 100% not what you want. Like, not what you want at all. I've definitely lost the rookie rule out here. But Fifey, you got to be pretty happy with that. A 102, just get the handball, feed it off. Get the handball, feed it off. Get the handball, feed it off. I think if we have a look at stats here against Carlton, I think this is fantasy stats against Carlton, that 102, you can see there 10 kicks, 16 handballs, 7 marks. So he's someone that's just going to go get the ball and just give it off, and it's going to benefit the people around him. So made 60 something k, 70k on the year already. And definitely someone that is going to continue to be doing it. So 102, great to have him there. Having a look at getting him back into that forward line, hopefully, and optimizing this team a little. We've got Harley Reid also sitting there, 91. Looked very good. So 91 from him is fantastic. If you had him on your field, that's probably where you're getting some extra points. But yeah, 91 from him. Who's he got coming up? Richmond next, so that's going to be a bit tough of a game, but I think if he can continue to go around that kind of 80 average, 70 average, everyone has him, so you're not losing anything by having him, but I think that'd be great for his cash gen. Keep pushing, make some more cash before we look to convert him. And then Sharp, I'm stoked that I've got, but I'm not stoked that he's sitting on my bench. So 126, absolutely running right on that wing, doing a phenomenal job out there against Carlton and just dominating. So it was really great to see that work rate, and then really impressed with his work rate, and that's just put him in good stead. So I think if he's a bloke that can continue to do this, making 70k in that week, what's he done for his, if we have a look here, his break even, going into round 5, minus 51, minus 17. He's just going to continue to do great things, and that's just going to keep bringing that down. So someone that we can potentially have in the side for a while, and look to continue to make some good cash there. Next comes down to the ruck line. So we have Gawn and Grundy. Gawn is just, he's showing why he's number 3. But pushing for those top spots. 129 is phenomenal from him, and really love it. The other options being how can I do this? Other options being a Tim English and a Rowan Marshall, who both did well. But I think this is a guy that I'm going to continue to back in week after week. He's just putting up great performances and really helping his team push on. That 75 break even should beat that, and then that'll bring that back down as well, so that we can get some more cash gen going. But definitely someone that you're going to be holding for a while. Upcoming against the Lions, Richmond, and then Geelong. I think, look, there's 215 points on the table for Brisbane. Was that against Big O? He's usually pretty restrictive, so just see how we go with that one. Richmond, he should get the better of Nank, or Nank gets suspended because that's what he does. And then he takes on Stanley or a Conway. So I think definitely a vice-captain, captain option moving forward as well, and someone that you should be looking to get. Another one of the players that's on the bye this week in Brodie Grundy. So he go round 3 93 round 4 score of 93, averaging 103. Look, you could definitely. I mean, I'm probably going to be looking to flip Grundy out and get him up to a Marshall or an English just to lock in that top 2. I've got a few people that are on bye at the moment, as you can see: Dacos, Roberts, Grundy, and Jordan. So Grundy and Jordan are probably my 2 that I'm looking to move on, being that I've got some good coverage in my other lines. So yeah, I think Grundy has been serviceable for what he's done, but it's time to flip him. 60 against Gold Coast, 74. Meek, I don't know, hasn't really been giving up a lot of points, and Reeves as well when he was in there. It wasn't the most restrictive, but definitely didn't give up a bulk of points. And then the Giants with Briggs, who is giving up points. But being that it's the bye, I think now's the time to flip him on. Say thank you for your service. He's up, 25k, something like that. What's his price done? Let's have a look here. Started at 481. He's up to 507. So yeah, what's that? 27k or something? 28k. He's gone up. So I think it's time to move him on. You could go value and go down to a Hawthorn ruck. But I think you're just better off. Look to go up. Look to go up for sure. And then we had Naismith. I saw he wasn't named in the emergencies, but didn't obviously end up getting selected. So he's just going to continue to sit there, maybe a bit nervous. Flanders I've had since day dot. So seeing the move that was happening with him out of the midfield rotation and more towards that half back. It's an interesting one. Looks like he's scoring well, so that's quite a positive, and definitely something that we'll continue to look at. But doing a 125 there, I mean, you're pretty happy with that, aren't you? Pretty happy with that. Up 58k on the year, is cementing himself as a top 6 pick. If we have a look at points here, he's still got a bit of a break even, but that's okay. Should be able to beat that 89 and beat a 76. Hawthorn gave up 100 points in round 15 last year. So I think he's got potential to score really, really well, and they like the look of him down in that halfback position. So should have bulk points coming his way. And if he can keep making cash, awesome. But he is someone that's cemented in the team. We then went over to Tommy Powell. Not the best game, but as I said, 15 tackles really saved him for that 73. Kind of just didn't really get a lot of the ball. Was going over his head. Lots of handballs as well. If we look at the stats, 3 kicks, 11 handballs. Like, get it on the boot, Tommy. You're a good user of the footy. Just get it on the boot. But definitely saved by that 15 tackles. And I think if you've got someone that's got the intent in there, that willingness to tackle, I mean, that's going to put you in good stead. But while LDU's not firing, while there's no Simpkin in there, you've got Wardlaw who's easing his way back in. Certainly think that Powell should be really stepping up here. Then we go to the Fish. This is a bloke that I thought was going to struggle this week. So getting to a 75, look, not ideal, but I think, he's still making cash on this one and going up in value. Yeah, what's he going? Up 13k on that one. So, I mean, good to see that he's still going up, but I think there's an opportunity, especially in that smaller oval, that was really going to hamper him. So for a 75, not too angry about it. I mean, you could definitely trade him. I'm just looking at this and going, I've got 4 blokes on a buy. What am I going to be doing here? And then we go to James Jordan, mate. This is disappointing. And absolutely is earmarked as someone that's got to go for me. I was waiting till his buy. You probably could have gone a couple of weeks earlier. Just thought there's other options. This needs to be upgraded. So I think I'll be looking to move Jordan out. I haven't finalised my trades yet. But we'll mock something up at the end of the video if you're interested in that. Jordan at 57 just didn't look like he's got it. So he's definitely someone that can go now. And that Taylor Adams coming back into the side probably did hurt him in the end. Dempsey, very happy though. Got him last week or 2 weeks ago, I think it was. That 45k price rise, scoring in 8 scoring in 80. Very, very decent. He's got North coming up, so I think he'll do quite well there as well. He's got that break even of minus 14, so he is set to make more cash, which will be really, really good. I think if he puts up another big score, if he puts up another big score, then that probably should drop down a little bit, that 31 as well. So, yeah, should continue to make money moving forward, and someone that is very good to have on your field. Although when you look around, you go, I could have Fifey on there, could have had Reed on there, maybe not. The other person that we brought in, obviously, was Sam Darcy. Darcy on the bubble there has made a huge cash rise. What's he going up? 80 grand, I think it is. Yeah, 80k, almost 81k. You want 150 out of a rookie, and he's already given you 80. So I think he'll do quite well against Essendon. Our defense is not the tallest. This bloke is an absolute man mountain. I think if you look at the Essendon defense, we've got Harry Mackay, who's probably going to take your biggest attacker. So either a Hugo Hagen or a Norton. But then who goes to Darcy? And I think Darcy, you're going to get maybe a Laverde, which I think probably goes to one of those other two because of the athletic ability. Then you've got a Cox who's down back, but he's skinny as anything and is going to get thrown around and definitely doesn't have the height. So it's not the best matchups for Essendon. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens there. But I think a minus 21 break even, he's set to make bulk cash this week. And then we moved into the bench where we had Cadman coming off of the bye with a 50. Probably wasn't the outing that I thought it would be from him. I thought he could have got onto it a little bit more. But he's gone up cash, and that's all we want. And then we had Darcy Wilson, 58. Made some good decisions, but got caught a bit as well. So I think there's probably an opportunity for this score to be a bit higher. My concern for him now is that his break even is 24 heading into the Giants game, which is probably going to be a bit tough. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But could be someone that you can move on if you need to. As he's probably going to make cash gen slow. You can look down the bottom here. You got 11k, 18k. So it's just a bit hard on that one. That's where the team was at. I think if we had to make quick moves, we'd be getting Jordan out. So let's just swap Jordan for a Fife. We'll get Fifey back on the field there. Who's Fife going up against? They've got Port Adelaide. Probably not, actually. Yeah, we need to look at matchups. Who's Wilson got? GWS, that's not good. Who has a Reed got? Reed has a Richmond, is it? Yeah, Reed has a Richmond. So actually, you know what? That probably swaps with there. And then swap in a 5. And have that loop on the bench there. I mean, we'll have to play around with it. My vice captain this week is definitely going to be a Max Gawn. And I think what do we got here? That's a Thursday I was thinking a Bond into a Friday, but that's a bit hard. I don't really want to do a West Coast. No Geelong. Oh, actually, you could almost captain Sheasel, but I don't think I will. Interesting. I think we'll leave it as Bont and Gawn for now, but that's probably the one that changes, is that Bont and Pelly. Either that becomes the VC and we don't go with Gawn. I just think he's scoring so well. But yeah. Don't want to get rid of Roberts unless what if we traded Brodie Grundy? Let's just have a quick look at trades. And I'll trade a Jordan. And we're going to go see, we've got 1.138k. I kept about 200 grand last week because of the trades that I couldn't do. Let's go Ruck. And let's go a 691 is too much. I think Marshall's probably bottom price now, so he can go in. And then if we take Ruck off, how much cash have we got? 532 grand. What if I go players I can afford? Because I hate how it. Interesting. Amon, no. What if we go... let me move this across. If I go 3-round average, we'll scroll to the top. So we got Jason Horn-Francis, 433. We could go a Yoey, you know. That actually might be the play. If I do a Yo and go complete trades, that leaves me 44 grand in the bank. We've got 2 keeper upgrades. And that could be the captain option there, to be honest. Because Briggs is giving up points. And then what I do is I go Sub and Matty. Sorry. Let's do that. And then what we'll do is we'll substitute these two. Then I've got full playing backline, full midfield option. Still running 3 rookies on the field, which is not ideal. We've got an upgrade in our rucks, and our forward line is okay-ish. That could be the option, you know. Who's close? Who are the... See, Closey is someone that you could definitely bring in, but he's not going to go up money for another week. People are trading House and D'Ambrosio. I think House has got more job security. That's the thing. But I don't like him being on the field. But in 2 weeks, this guy's going to get... he will get defender status. Roberts will probably get defender status. McKercher definitely will, so that becomes a rookie on there. So that's 2 back, which forces House to the bench and a Z-Will or a D'Ambrosio out. Yeah, because Dacos would go up here, and so would a Martin. So that forces a House to the bench. We could move McKercher to the bench back here and look at cementing this midfield line and fixing the forward line. The thing with me is I've been so stubborn on no Heaney, and I should have got him because he's absolutely destroying me. But I think I can wait. The person that I could look at bringing in if I want to do a boost is Combin, but I'd probably keep an eye on his score because he had that 129 in that smaller field. He's not going to have a price rise. The thing is, I still do have 5 boosts. I've only used, this would be 8 trades. Other people have used like 9 more. So I could absolutely boost. If I was going to boost, what would I do though? I would probably... What would I do? If I was going to boost, I would probably get rid of an Ethan Phillips and use the extra money to get a Closey or a Graham. Anyway, that's something to look at. I'll put that out. What we might do is wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this has been a little bit insightful. A quick update on the team. But yeah, very exciting to have a best 22 week. Didn't score very well, so need to look at that. But I think value approach, as long as all my players are going up, which if you have a look at every one of them, except for Dacos and the injured blokes, or the people that haven't played, they are going up. and that's really exciting to see. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps a growing channel out. Like, we're 3 weeks in here. I'm really enjoying it. Want to be consistent for you, and hopefully this is of value. If you've found it helpful, maybe share it with a friend. Think about, your mates that are doing SuperCoach, or if you're watching the fantasy videos, your mates that are doing fantasy, and see if they might be interested. But thank you for watching. Let me know what your trades are in the comment section below. And if you've got suggestions on captains, loop me in, because I have no idea. I usually just end up following whatever Calvin's captains is. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.